Hey guys, I'm with Angelica, an INFP. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Angelica. I have a YouTube channel and it's called Angelica Gutierrez, my name. And I talk about personality type and mostly about INFPs to tell people about how we think and like how we express ourselves, I guess. And yeah, I just do random anything that interests me on there too. So
Yep, and for anybody that hasn't looked at your channel, I think something that really stood out to me when I was looking at your channel and watching some of your videos is I really like your encouragement videos for the different types. Would you like to kind of go into that for people that maybe don't know?
sure. Yeah, I'm glad you like those. I really like making those because it's really nice to. I feel like a lot of people don't have like every type doesn't have a specific like video to encourage them, talking like directly to them. So I think it's really cool that I can talk about how much I like each type because I've I've had a lot of friends who are like pretty much all the different types, and I really love all of them in different ways. They've all taught me something different, so I like making videos directly for them. So that's why I made those videos. Yeah.
That's awesome. And for those of you that don't know, well, I don't, have you said this on your channel that why you started making videos, or would you like to elaborate on that?
Oh, I haven't really made one like me talking about it, but I made like a little channel intro thing, but I haven't really explained it in depth. So I think I started mostly because when I made it about a year ago, and I kind of was in a time where I didn't really understand myself anymore because I was kind of busy with school and doing stuff with organizations at school, and I was kind of lost touch with myself. So I decided to like take the MBTI test, and I found that I was an INFP by looking at the cognitive functions. And then because before then I always thought I was an INFJ. So, but once I looked at the cognitive functions, I realized I was an INFP, and I just kind of made it to kind of share what I learned from that experience, like getting into MBTI and using it to find yourself and for personal development. So I just kind of wanted to share that with everyone so that they can find themselves through MBTI and personality type apology and all of that. So yeah, that's why I started it.
I know for me, and I would assume because of your encouragement videos, and also you talk about all the time on your channel, or just like you've talked about it a lot, is how much you love people. And I think that's pretty true for a lot of INFPs. I wouldn't say it's true for, I mean, really for any type, but
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. And you also mentioned that you're an Enneagram too, which is
Mm-hmm.
more of a helpful kind of, if you're familiar with the Enneagram system, two is considered like the helping. Um,
Oh yeah, like the givers or something like that, right?
like they love, they're kind of, yeah, they're the givers. They like helping people. They like to like inspire people by helping them. And I think it really shows through your channel and just kind of who you are in general. Um, how do you think you've helped people like in your personal life, or maybe if you have stories specifically about YouTube, what would you say you've kind of gone out of helping people as far as specifically to MBTI?
Oh, um, well, I really like volunteering. So whenever I have an opportunity to volunteer, like an organization, I do that a lot. And I also, in my personal life, just with friends, I'm usually the person who people come to when they have like personal problems or like, especially emotional problems. Like they'll come to me and they'll kind of talk to me about it, and we kind of go through and figure out what they can do, or sometimes I'll just listen to them because most of the time they'll just want to listen and talk about the situation. So, and I did, yeah, mostly volunteering, outreach and stuff. I did that with organizations and working at food banks and things like that. And actually, a lot of people told me that Enneagram 2 is kind of rare for INFPs, I guess, because they were telling me, and I'm also a 2 wing 1, so they said it's pretty rare for INFPs. I haven't seen a lot of people who have it too, so I don't know. I'm still kind of learning about that Enneagram.
Yeah, the Enneagram is interesting to say the least. I don't know if I completely agree with Enneagram, but it is definitely interesting. Yeah, two, I would say probably because of the high introverted feeling as your primary function. A lot of people, myself included, I definitely have felt like this in the past, where introverted feeling can come across as selfish, and so that might be part of it. But I don't think that most of the INFPs I know are some of the most thoughtful and giving people I know, and it doesn't surprise me that you would be a two, but I'm not saying that it isn't rare. So
Yeah, yeah. I've met a couple other people who are twos also, and a lot of INFG, INFJ twos. And yeah, it's really interesting. Would you say like Enneagram is more like how you express yourself or like what you do, basically?
I think Enneagram, I do know quite a bit about Enneagram, but I would say actually Enneagram focuses more on your weaknesses, kind of what your fears are. All 9 of the Enneagrams have a different type of fear, and and that's what's kind of highlighted and how to get out of that with the tri-types. Are you familiar?
Um, is that like the how there's the head and the heart and the is that it or
Yeah, the head, heart, and body.
yeah?
So, like, 8, 9, 1 is the head. I mean the body, and then 2, 3, 4 is the heart, and 5, 6, 7 is the mind. So,
Oh, okay.
so you kind of at least according to Enneagram, you have like, so if you're a 2, then you would have, and that's part of the heart. You would have part of the body and part of the head as well, or the mind. So it kind of, that's how it kind of translates. But yeah, I'm definitely not an expert on Enneagram. I do know quite a bit about it, but I still am not 100% on my Enneagram either. So I think it's definitely something that takes a long time to get to know. But,
I
yeah.
know it's hard because you can relate to like all of them in some way, I think.
Yeah. Um, so you mentioned to me that your dad is an ISTJ, your mom is an INFJ, and your sister is an ISFP. What would you say, like individually, um, how has Myers-Briggs or just typology helped in kind of cultivating those relationships?
Oh, well, it's definitely helped a lot with like especially with my sister and understanding her because we both have like in I think it's socionics or something where we have like a blind where they talk about blind spots.
Yeah.
Um like she has the blind spot of extroverted intuition and mine is extroverted sensing. So we kind of learn from each other how to use those two functions. And it's kind of that's where we fight most of the time because it's like she sees things like really realistically, and then me, I see all the everything, perspectives, what could happen, and she's more like what is happening right now. So like it's really interesting to see the difference. Um, and yeah, and with my parents too because like they they have like pretty different ways of seeing things, because my dad is more about like um, his experiences and what he's learned in the past, and I can relate to that in a way because I also use SI. And my mom, actually, my mom, I'm not sure if she's INFJ. She might be ISFJ, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I would be. I don't know. I definitely could. I mean, it's definitely possible that you could be an INFJ, but it is unusual for an INFJ and an ISTJ to like get along. I mean, as organically in a relationship. Definitely it can happen. So like my sister's an ISTJ and I get along really well with her. I don't think I would ever want to date an ISTJ guy, but and obviously she's my sister, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know your mom obviously, but I wouldn't maybe she is an ISFJ. My mom is an ISFJ and she gets along really well with my sister. So maybe.
Maybe, yeah, because sometimes it seems like she's using NI because she's very focused. She likes to plan things ahead. She knew from a young age what she wanted to do, but maybe that might be connected to SI, maybe, because she's learned a lot in the past.
Yeah.
And kind of, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell with her, but I think she might be ISFJ because she's like also really good at seeing details. She's very detail oriented. So
Maybe. I don't know. That would be interesting. It took me a long time to actually feel 100% about the types of like my sister and my mom and my dad. Because I don't know if I've talked about this, but my both of my parents actually typed as INFJ, and neither of them are.
oh,
And my sister actually typed as an INTP, and that's also like, and she took the test. I think it was actually the certified MBTI test,
oh,
and she typed as INTP. So I don't know. I mean, I just think it's hard. It really is hard to type other people. It's also, I mean, typology is just difficult in that way because you have to really, I don't know. So I guess we'll find out one day what your mom
yes.
is. That would be interesting to figure that out.
Oh, how did you figure out like your family, like what their types were?
So this is hard. I mean, I know I've advocated so much for socionics.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that socionics plays a really strong role in helping people type um, themselves and other people because it goes into the type relations. But the key is that you don't get confused, which obviously you seem to kind of understand socionics just by the fact that you knew what the blind spots were and everything. A lot of people do get confused with socionics, but I was able to. It took me a long time to really feel like I understood socionics, and I'm still learning stuff. But once I was able to grasp socionics in a pretty, I would not like, I guess, more advanced way, I was able to discover what my type relations would be with other people, and that's kind of how. And that wasn't the only way. Typically, for me, I'm able to figure out what ballpark people are in as far as typology goes, and that's only really through meeting people in person. There's certain people that even through online, I mean through like videos, I'm able to kind of have more of an idea. But typically, I get an idea of what someone is, and then I narrow it down to a few types, and then I typically do use socionics for the type relations to kind of figure out what our relationship is and narrow it down even more that way. But it takes a long time, at least for me. So.
Yeah, it sounds like it would take a while because you have to go through all of that and kind of narrow it down. And I just need more time to figure it out because I've only found out about socionics and stuff for like a year. So I think it's going to take a while to do that.
Yeah. No, socionics, and I think it's better to go into socionics slowly than to think you know everything about socionics. Some people will get into socionics and they'll use it for bad because there's a lot of power that can come from socionics. And I know that sounds kind of weird, but like, but like if you really do understand socionics, it can be used to manipulate people, or just isolate people, and that's not what it's intended for. So, yeah.
Uh,
So, would you like to talk about your book?
oh yeah, yeah. I'm writing a book right now. It's been in the works for a while, like about a year or so, and I just barely started writing it in January, and it's gonna be like a fantasy slash sci-fi book because it's based in space, and I'm making all these original characters and like planets and stuff, and it's gonna be like an adventure story. So I have a couple characters so far. I have like the main characters, and they're twins, and their parents, and they're all gonna have different like um, fighting abilities and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's called Aurora, and I actually have an Instagram for it. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I checked out your Instagram for it. I like the character drawings. You did a good job. Did you draw those?
Oh no, I had
Oh,
one of my friends drew them for me because yeah, I'm not very good at drawing.
awesome.
So, but
That's
yeah, it's really good. I love her drawings, and I'm glad you like them. But
yeah.
yeah,
What do you think inspired you to start writing your book?
um, I think around the time when I started writing it, I was kind of inspired by astrology because I wanted to make each of the characters like kind of like on different planets, and astrology maybe have that mixed in somehow, like with their names and stuff, like with the different zodiac signs. And I don't know, I started getting more into that, and then I just found this idea when actually from a dream because I have a lot of like vivid dreams, and sometimes I'll just write them down. And this one, like the beginning of the story, just came to me in a dream, so I wrote it down. And then I've been writing since I was really young, so I keep journals and stuff with writing, and I just started. It just kind of came out like because I started writing it down, and yeah, that's how it came to be.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And I saw that you're trying to publish it by 2020.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Yes,
That's
I'm
exciting.
excited.
I think a lot of INFPs, I think there are a lot of prominent INFP authors, and I think that does stir from NE, with FI. I know you talk about, you've told me that you kind of feel more comfortable with SI.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to talk about why you feel more comfortable with SI than you do with NE?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, I feel like I'm more comfortable with it because especially with my environment where I grew up, because my family, like my dad and my mom, I feel like they use more SI, and then also my family members, a lot of them use SI, and as maybe like top two um, cognitive functions. So I grew up in a family that was very like traditional, and I just kind of adopted those kind of principles to my personal, or like morals to my personal morals. Can't talk right now. But yeah, so and so yeah, I just got so used to it. But now that I'm getting older, I'm kind of realizing that like it's not really it's not really that natural for me. Like I use it more, but it's not really that natural. Like when I use NE more, it seems more natural to me. So like when I use it, I like just exploring different possibilities. And before, I feel like I was just from where I grew up, I just kind of used it because I wanted to. I think it goes back to my Enneagram. I wanted to feel loved. I wanted to receive love. So I was kind of like, I should do things more traditionally. But now that I'm getting older, I'm kind of like, I should just follow who I am and just do my own thing and maybe adopt some of those traditions because some of them are important to me, but some of them I'm like, no, I just want to try something different. I think it's the NE kicking in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been like a really crazy year because I've been just learning so much about myself through like Enneagram and all that and MBTI. So, yeah. Interesting.
That's really interesting. I think your environment does have a lot to do with how you are perceived to others. Because I know for me, I can relate because even though my dad is also has SI. I mean, it's his fourth function in MBTI, but as an INTP, not his fourth function, his third function. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm tired. I'm obviously very tired. It's his third function. But so I kind of grew up in that kind of environment as well. And I obviously don't have SI as one of my, if we're talking in MBTI terms, I don't have it in my four function stack. But because my sister is an ISTJ and my mom is an ISFJ, I was surrounded by that because my parents are divorced, and so those two were like prominent figures in my life, my sister and my mom. And especially my mom, I felt like I had to please her. I had to be like a perfect child for her. And it definitely took a toll on me when I went to college. Because I kind of tried to branch out of that SI. But I do see, I can relate to that, like kind of wanting to you kind of feel more comfortable with SI because of your environment. So, why did you choose biomedical engineering?
Oh, well, um, I'm not really sure because I think at the time I was very interested in it, and I still am, but it's been pretty tough because it's like very, you have to be really good with details. And at the time, like I said, I was really good at using SI. I was using it more. So I thought, this would be a good path to go in because it's like it's a good place to go, like good market and stuff. And it's starting to grow. And I think part of me was using NE too because I wanted to learn about something that was new and hadn't really been established yet. So I was like, this is cool. It's a new market. And I wanted to help people too. And I thought this would be a great way to do it because then I could design, new products for people to solve their medical problems. And so that's why I got into it. And then now I'm going to graduate this year. So I'm really excited about this year in particular because we're going to design our own products. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And the years before that, we just kind of did research and stuff. And we didn't really we didn't really actually put it to use or like make something tangible with it. And this year we're actually going to do that. So I'm excited about that.
That's
cool. Yeah. I'm really excited. Maybe I feel like my TE is starting to get more like stronger too. I think that's why, because I'm like, I want to make something real and people can use,
Yeah. No, I think that's really good. I think it's good to be well-rounded, like to do stuff that's kind of out of your comfort zone. because I think it makes you a better person and you're able to um, do things that you never thought you could.
Mhm.
I think we should look at the comments and see if there's any questions.
Oh, did you go to college?
Did I go to, I went to, so I went to school for international affairs.
Mm.
I graduated in 2017.
Oh,
So I
cool.
took a fifth year. I took a fifth year of college, um, or university, as they say in the UK or other places, US. And I actually, the reason why, there's a few reasons, but my main reason was I got to go to Europe for free every year. So,
Oh, cool.
so it's like, oh, do I want to graduate and go to the real world, or do I want to go to Europe again for free?
Yeah, yeah, I want to go to Europe.
So, so
That's so cool.
I was really involved in college, so it was really fun. I mean, it was some of the hardest times in my life as well, but I grew a lot. So, yeah.
Yeah. I actually took another year too. I'm in my fifth year right now because I was really struggling with my major at like junior year because that's when it gets like really crazy with the workload. And then I just kind of decided to spread it out a little more. So that's why I'm taking 5 years. I kind of like it better though, because I can kind of relax. Before it was just like, bam, like throwing all this work at you. So yeah, I like it doing like another year. More relaxing, calm.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. I actually could have graduated within 3.5 years. I think I graduated with like 190 credits or something like that. It's pretty stupid. But but yeah, no, I am glad that I also waited instead of.
Yeah. And then you get to go to travel and stuff. That's really important too. Like you learn a lot from that too, traveling to different places. And I think I've been to Europe a couple times. I've been to Ireland and Denmark. Those are really cool places.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Why did you go to Ireland and Denmark?
Oh, I actually went for well, to Ireland, it was because my high school band was doing like a sister cities thing, so we went over there to play in a in like a what do you call it? A parade. We were in the St. Patrick's parade there in Ireland. That was pretty cool. So we were a marching band and we got to play in their town. It was like a little town in Ireland called Ennis, and it was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I've
And
only flown through Ireland. I'm like 40% Irish and I've never really been to Ireland. I mean, I've gone through it, but not, that's really cool. And why did you go to Denmark?
oh, that was because in middle school I did robotics. I did like a robotics club, and we were invited to like a competition over there. So we went over there, and we represented the U.S. That was pretty cool. We were like there was only a few teams from the U.S., like maybe 6 of us, and everyone else was from all over the world. It was pretty cool to meet all of them, and like and Denmark was really pretty. They have a lot of like flowers, a lot of tulips and like really pretty flowers. And we went to an amusement park. I forgot what it was called, but it was really nice. But yeah, it was really nice.
That's so cool. Wow. I wish I wish I did that in middle school.
I got really lucky. I was like, what? So
Yeah.
you haven't been to where did you go in Europe?
So well, I've been on my own as well, but the reason why I was able to go to Europe for free was because I was in Model United Nations. Do you know what?
Oh, uh-huh. I've heard of that before.
Yeah, and I also did Model European Union. Uh,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
So
and you get to travel for that, like to go to like competitions and stuff or conferences or.
yeah. So so I also did Model Arab League as well. In Model Arab League, I actually went to Washington D.C. for free, which was really awesome.
Oh,
Because Washington D.C. is one of my favorite cities, or whatever you want to call it, in the U.S. Um, but so my first year in college with Model UN, I went to Milan, Italy. And then my second year, I went to Cardiff, Wales. My third year, I went to Münster, Germany. The fourth year, we went to Antwerp, Belgium, and that was with Model European Union. And I also went to some other places like I guess this wasn't free. Um, my like fifth year, I went to Scotland, Edinburgh, Scotland, but I did that on my own. And I was a director or assistant director of a committee for a Model UN conference. And yeah, so and then I also went to New York and Bloomington, Indiana as well for free,
oh.
which was really cool. Like our school sponsored us to go, and it was awesome. So
That's so cool. You get to go a lot of places with it. That's so cool.
yeah, I think it's just good to get out of your comfort zone and
Mhm.
yeah, experience things. And it seems like so for you, it seems like you've gone into kind of the more left brain, traditionally left brain kind of things, like in the science and math field. It seems like.
Mhm.
Um, and those may not be like the stereotypical things for an INFP to do, which I think is really cool. I think that's awesome that you do that. And I think for me, my thing was joining these organizations because I really wanted to get over my fear of public speaking. So that was kind of my little leap.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's kind of interesting. We have different ways that we kind of got out of our comfort zones as like what we might be cognitively comfortable with. But
yes, that's really true because I feel like with most, like with you and like most INFJs that I've met, like I feel like the way they do it is like they challenge themselves. Like with you with public speaking, like they'll go do something that specifically they're afraid of to get over it, I guess. And for me, because I have that SC blind spot, for me that's kind of like I don't usually do that because it's kind of like uncomfortable for me to do. But I think I can learn from you guys because I feel like I need to do that too, to get over fears. Just kind of put yourself out there and kind of see what you can learn, I guess, from the experience. And and then for me, I feel like it's I try to challenge myself with like more thinking kind of things like science, math, analyzing things. Um, I think it's probably because of my aspirational TE, extroverted thinking, because like I've always liked those kind of things, like math, science, things that challenge me that way. But I've always been really good at like writing, reading, just those kind of things in general, music. I did band in school, and I also did some choir and things like that. So I would do a lot of that, and then in school I would challenge myself with like more thinking kind of subjects. So it's kind of like I got a little bit of both.
yeah, I think that, I don't know. I've actually seen other INFPs do that in my life where they it seems to me like there a lot of INFPs do the kind of extreme on the other side. They do kind of try to, I don't know, become sufficient in the like math or science. I know one of my really good friends in high school is an INFP, and I'm not as good of friends with her anymore. We kind of lost touch, but at the time, she was one of the best students. I think she graduated as she was one of the top students in our grade, and
Oh,
she was very like stereotypically INFP. If you think of like the dreamer, whimsical type, she was also really interested in anime and manga, and Japanese culture as well. And
me
she
too.
loved to draw. Yeah, she she loved to draw, but she was also extremely good at math and science.
Oh,
So, and I think it was because she pushed herself to be that way, which I think is actually, I admire that a lot because I think some things come easy to me, but I don't push myself as much. So like, let's say math or science, like I took a calculus class my freshman year of college, and I didn't study ever for that. I just would show up to the test and just take the test, figure out
me
the
too.
problems there. And I just like, I mean, I wish I was a little bit more like driven in those areas or just like to want to really put in a huge effort. I think I'm kind of starting to do a little bit more so, but yeah, I admire that. I think that's incredible. And I find INFPs to be very likable by other people.
Oh, that's what my friend, actually my best friend from high school is an INFJ, and she was always telling me, like, I can't see it in myself most of the time, but she was like, you're so friendly to everyone, and I'm like, really? Like, I see myself as really introverted and like don't talk to very many people, but then she's like, no, you're really friendly, like you'll say hi to people, all like everyone, and you're not as selective with people, like talking to people. And I guess I can't really see it in myself though. It's kind of like she's kind of like a mirror for me, like, and I'm a mirror for her. I'll tell her things, she'll tell me things about myself, and we kind of like learn from each other. And yeah, I've always had really good relationships with INFJs. I haven't met that many, but yeah, my best friend is one, and like, I'm not sure if my mom is one. I'm not sure, but I have a good relationship with my mom too. But she might be ISFJ, so
Uh,
yeah.
sorry, I hate how it like goes back and forth. Like I wasn't trying to interrupt.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I think your voice is to me. I find it to be kind of sing-songy. You sound very sweet to me, and I know you. It's different when you're. I guess the thing about YouTube and like posting videos, you're able to kind of hear what your voice sounds like. For me, like I don't necessarily know what my voice sounds like, but like for you, like your voice does have a very sweet tone to it, and also just your facial expressions in general are very sweet. And I think that makes people feel very comfortable. If I was to see you on the street, I would feel like I could approach you. Whereas for me, I feel like people are afraid of me. Like a lot of times, I think I scare people sometimes. But
That's what my friend says too. She's like, I'm intimidating to people, and I'm like, no, you're not. No.
yeah, I mean, I've also had that said by a few INFPs in my life. Like, I think INFPs are able to see through, they're better at seeing through people than other types generally. And I think you're able to pick up on certain things that other people don't see. So, like, just because someone maybe has like a resting bitch face, you're not going to just necessarily assume that they're like a mean person.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yes, that's true. But it's a good thing, but a bad thing too. Because like sometimes I'll think I like to see the good in everyone, and sometimes but most of the time, like the good is good in people, but then there's some people who are bad, and then they're like, and then I get confused. I'm like, wait, but I thought you were a good person. That's what I assume at first. I'm like, oh, well, everyone must be good. So I don't know. That's just how I think. When I first meet someone, I'm like, well, they must have something good in them, you know?
Yeah. That's sweet. That's really sweet. Would you like to? I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, but do you have any stories about like kind of discovering maybe someone that you thought was a good person and then you realized that maybe they weren't so good?
Oh, yeah. I had a friend like that who was, I kind of like, I thought she was a good person, but I kind of turned off that part of me that sees, you know, through someone, because I was like, she's good, like she's nice to me, but I didn't really pay attention to how she was around other people. And once I got older, I started to see how how she acted around other people, and she was pretty rude, and she was like pretty selfish. And and then once I kind of step back and look at her in a different light, I was like, wow, I guess she's been kind of like taking advantage of me this whole time, because she would, you know, ask me to like do things for her, and I would do it because I thought she was a good friend. And yeah, it's hard when you like see someone you thought you knew for a long time was good, and then they're not what you think they were, you know. It's hard.
Yeah.
And she was one of my best friends too.
Wow. How long were you guys friends with each other?
um I think it was like, I met her in kindergarten, so it was like maybe 12 years. Is a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't notice it.
Well, I mean, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. So you were in high school when you kind of figured out that she was
Yeah.
good. I mean, I it's funny that you say that because I also so one of my he may be watching this. Reggie, if you're watching this, I love you. But Reggie is one of my best friends from that I made in Seattle, and he's an INFP. And I probably spent the most time. Actually, both of the two of, I guess my closest friends in Seattle are both INFPs. Um, and Reggie, he talked about um, one of his friends that one of his like childhood friends or someone that he was very close with, and he like because this friend was nice to him, he didn't see really around him how he was like this guy was mistreating people. And
Yeah.
I think that maybe that is an INFP thing because um, it's interesting, and he didn't really realize it until he lived with him because he became roommates with him, and that's how he really discovered how he truly was.
Well,
And I think it's interesting because you may be in more of an exceptionally friendly INFP. I think most INFPs are more on the friendly side. But as far as kind of believing that everybody is good, I think INFPs do tend to do that, but they're maybe a little bit more skeptical. A lot of other INFPs, and I I think because of that, that can really blindside people as well. The ones that are a little bit more skeptical because they hold on to the fact that they think someone's good, and then they end up being the opposite. So I don't know if that made sense, but yeah.
oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense, because they kind of, I think they just kind of like stop looking at that, and they just think that person's good, and then they don't really look into that person anymore because they've been friends with them for a long time. So they don't kind of like investigate like they would with a new person, you know? Like, yeah. And also, I think it might be the SE blind spot again, because like I noticed when I was younger, especially, I just would like get lost all the time, and I wouldn't notice things around me. Like I was the person who'd run into a pole. Like
Oh my gosh.
I still do that sometimes. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I definitely trip a lot. I so many times, and I have run into things. I think that is a kind of even a more intuitive thing. And I'm not saying all intuitives are like that, but I do think that sensors tend to be a little bit more in touch with their personal surroundings. But yeah, that's really funny. I think INFPs and INFJs are kind of known for being a little clumsy. I also would say that INTPs and INTJs are also fairly clumsy people too. Um, and as
Yeah.
far as like kind of not really seeing who someone is, I almost think that has to do a little bit with introverted feeling. Because I've also seen that with INTJs, where I want to make a video about this, but I think INTJs have a very interesting sense of loyalty. That's definitely a difference between the way I see loyalty. I have known INTJs in the past that they're very intelligent people, and they've literally seen things in front of their eyes, but because those like let's say an INTJ had like this bad friend. There could be so much evidence that this person is a bad person and all this stuff, but they still are friends with them. And that to me is just like baffling. I'm very different than that. I don't know. But I don't think INFPs are exactly that way, but it's just something interesting. And I think that does stir from introverted feeling a little bit. So
Yeah, I think so. Because like with my INFJ best friend, she would definitely cut off someone if she thought they were bad or toxic friendships. She cuts it off like right away.
oh
She's
yeah,
like, okay,
like
bye.
it's the same thing as relationships, and that's why like guys that I date, and that's why I'm gonna be more selective. Like I'm kind of fed up with just like I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that, but but like as far as relationships, like if I see the writing on the wall, I haven't really met. I mean, I haven't really dated like a bad person, but if I see the writing on the wall about something that's toxic that I cannot change, and I'm not going to try to change someone, I will cut it, cut it, cut it. Like, and it will hurt, but I'm not gonna stay with that person. So.
I think that's probably why we like people who use FI. It's harder for us to cut it off because we're so we invested so much time and like love into this person in our relationship that it hurts a lot. Like when we cut it off, it hurts. It will we'll probably um wallow about it for like years, maybe a year or something. I don't know. It takes a while to get over it, for us.
I wouldn't say it doesn't take me a while. Like it, I mean, I would say that it also takes me a while to get over someone, but it may not appear that way. So like I don't necessarily show that I at least in public how I'm feeling about someone. I definitely feel pretty bad like if I end a relationship, but yeah, but it is different. It definitely is different. I think there's more. I'm more. I don't know. Like for example, I don't know your dating life extensively or anything like that, or maybe liking someone. But would you ever date someone again that you when after you guys broke up?
Oh, like go back to the same person.
Yeah.
No, I haven't ever done that before, but I feel like um maybe I would if it was like someone I knew for a long, long time. Because my relationships so far haven't been that long. So, but yeah, because like each relationship, it takes me a long time to get over it, and I feel like if I was with someone for a long time, I might want to go back to that person, you know. because I know them well and like, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I feel like maybe we like with FE and FI. I think maybe it is really hard for us to get over things, and it might take us the same time I think to get over it. But I think we just process it differently, right?
Yeah. I don't know about the timing, but definitely it's definitely gonna be seen differently. I mean, for me, and I don't think I've ever talked about this, but like, there was one guy that I broke up with, and he, a lot of the guys that I've dated have actually wanted to marry me. It wasn't like they asked me to marry them, but like it was they kind of made it very clear that they wanted to marry me.
Oh.
And one guy in particular I dated when I was 19, and I just turned 20, like early, like late 19, 20, just early 20. And he, it was a very toxic relationship for me. And my family really liked him. My dad never met him, but like my sister and mom were really pushing for him. And on the surface, we looked really good, but he, I don't know. I'm not going to go into that right now, but basically, where was I going with this? I don't know. I don't know.
Oh.
Oh, so basically, when he broke up, I mean, when I broke up with him, we were sitting, well, I sat with him for 6 hours, literally on the ground, in my room, and we were talking about it, and I was crying, he was crying. Um, and by the end of it, I ended up, after we had actually broken up, I ended up giving back all of his stuff that he gave me, like for my birthday, everything like that. Even though I liked the stuff, I just couldn't hold on to it because it reminded me of him, and I didn't have anything with that. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, that is hard. I've done that before too. I'm like giving like some. I don't think I've ever given it like back to a boyfriend, but I think I've like put him away. You know those things that remind, like kind of put him away because I'm kind of like a person who doesn't like to throw away things. So like I'll have like memory boxes.
That's where we're different for sure. I literally, my mom gets so mad at me, so mad at me. I could literally get rid of all the stuff I own. I mean, there are some sentimental things, like, and they're not like worth anything, but like photos or drawings or something like that, or letters.
Yeah.
Other than that, I could literally get rid of any other possession, and I would be completely fine. But yeah.
Yeah, for your mom's probably like, what? Why are you doing this? That's funny.
Oh no, she still brings up clothes and other things that I've given away. Like specifically, she'll remember exactly in detail. There was this one dress that I wore on my 20th birthday that was, I forget what the design's called, but it was black and white, and it was a really pretty dress on me, but I just, for some reason, one day just decided I don't want it anymore, and so I gave it to Goodwill. And she still talks about how that was the best dress that I've ever owned, and like, it's so funny. But,
This video, I bet if she found it, she'd probably bring it back, huh?
yeah, I don't think she ever would, but I mean, maybe one day I'll just like show up with that dress. But yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I like hold on to things, even from that friendship I had, like the bad one that I ended in high school. I still have stuff like from like pictures and stuff. I just kind of put them away. I don't know why. I just can't get rid of stuff. But I'm just like, well, just put it like I like keeping it for memories because there were some good things I had with that friend, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess yeah, I'll just look at the good things. I kind of throw away the bad things, like put it in the back of my mind, like the bad memory. I don't know. It's really weird.
That I mean, I just think, I mean, I know so many, I mean, I know more INFPs than I do INFJs in my like real life. And it rings true to them. A lot of them keep things like that. And I cannot. I like, especially if someone is cut from my life, I may end up being friends with them again or something like that. But at the time, I get rid of all the stuff that they gave me. Like, I don't know if one of my friends is watching this, but I feel kind of bad about this. But like one of my friends, we kind of like, he was dating someone and the person he was dating was just, I felt like was not a good person. And so I had to kind of X him out of my life for a given time. And he gave me like this really cute phone case for my birthday the year before. It was, yeah, and I ended up throwing it away. Like, and I know it's horrible because like I'm friends with him. I'm still friends with him now, but like we were able to like, I mean, he broke up with that girl, and he kind of realized maybe how she was towards him and other people. But I feel bad because I did get rid of it. But yeah, I mean, once I've kind of made up my mind, and the thing is, I sometimes regret it. Like, I'll be like, oh, wow, I wish I didn't get rid of this, but I did. Like, I just like have these moments where I'm just like, I need to cleanse, I need to get rid of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's really interesting. Oh, sorry. Oh, my sister. She dropped something. Let's see. Hi, Anaïs. My sister. Whoa, what happened? Wait, sorry.
What was that?
The sound is being weird.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay.
I think it's okay on my end.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I actually muted it. Like, you know, the button for me.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, yeah, the relationships and
yeah.
Like, actually, it's really weird because I've had less relationships than my friends, and they usually come to me to talk about relationships.
I think but I mean, it doesn't surprise me because I think INFPs, whether they've experienced it in their real life or not, I think they do give pretty good advice when it comes to relationships and people. So, and also I think people feel the sense that you really care and you would say something that would be valuable for them. And actually listen to them, which is a really huge thing for people. So,
yeah,
what would you say, I guess on the relationship side of things, what would you describe like your perfect person? Like, what would you say like their attributes would be? Not necessarily physical, but just in general.
Like personality-wise?
Yeah. You don't have to have a specific type in mind, but just like, what do you think you are most attracted to in a person?
Well, let's see. I don't think I really have a type because I like anyone who's really like the biggest thing for me is like someone who's really kind and like kind to other people because I've dated people who are like kind of like rude to other people, and then once I saw that I was like, no, I don't want to date this person anymore because they're just kind of like, or like they'll be like too domineering with people, looking down on people and things like that. And I like people who are kind of like nice to everyone and sees positivity in everyone, you know, kind of and is kind of like very open-minded and someone who can kind of like teach me new things, challenge me. That's why I've been really attracted to people who are more like thinkers, because like they kind of challenge me a little more, you know, because I really love learning new things. So I like to talk about all kinds of random things like astronomy, like different things, religion, and like so I like someone who likes to talk about those things and maybe like debate about it or something. And someone who is like, well, for like a husband, I would want someone who's really good with kids because I love kids and like animals because I really love animals too. And yeah, just someone who's overall really caring, I think. So yeah, I don't really have a type. It's like anyone who's really kind.
I think having more of an open mind is a good thing. I try to have more of an open mind about things. I say I don't have a type, but I do. Like like I definitely do, and I think it's kind of common for people that lead with introverted intuition. I don't have like, for example, physically, I don't have like there's not a specific like ethnicity that I like or something like that, but I definitely have a type. In many ways, and in personality wise, I do as well. But sorry, I think Henry is wanting to make. All right, I feel like this is just such a common thing. Henry's wanting to make an appearance, but I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, and I've seen him in your videos.
Yeah, he's very obnoxious. But
You have cats, right?
yeah, I have 2 cats, Pumpkin and Flare.
Oh,
Really
I have dogs, but I really love cats too. Like, but I can't have them because I'm allergic to them, which is really sad.
I mean, it's sad. I'm highly allergic to cats. I don't know if a lot of people know that on YouTube. I'm actually very highly allergic to cats, but I've had cats my whole life, and I don't care. I don't care if cats kill me. I'm gonna have cats.
I know. I like cats. They're so cute. I like cats and dogs. I'm not really a dog or a cat person. I'm both.
Yeah, I would say I'm a both person too. A lot of people, especially in college, because I had my cat Pumpkin throughout a lot of the years, like at college, and a lot of people thought that I was just a cat person. And,
Oh.
but I am pretty crazy about my cats. Yeah.
Oh, do you ever like dress them up or anything?
Um. Well, we dressed up Pumpkin on Halloween as a corn on corn on the cob,
Oh.
and he wore the costume like the entire night. I think when we woke up from like the Halloween party and stuff, he actually was still wearing it, and so he's yeah,
Oh, he liked it.
yeah, he's a cute boy. So.
Maybe I will get a cat one day.
The thing about allergies, well, specifically about like like cats, I'm also slightly allergic to dogs. There's certain dogs, like for example, Henry. He's a Chihuahua poodle, so he's kind of hyperallergenic. So I'm not really as much allergic to him. But when it comes to cats or just in general, you can build up your immunity. Um, And so like if I was away from my cats for let's say a week at a time or something like that, I would have a very extreme reaction coming back to them. I would get hives. I still get hives. So I get hives wherever their saliva touches me. Um, and my eyes like swell up and I sneeze a lot. But it's even more extreme when I'm away from them. So
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I saw my aunts had a cat, and like whenever I saw it, if I went there a lot, I wouldn't have like, yeah, like you said, like really big reactions. But if I was gone for a long time, I would be like feel my throat was tight and like hives and stuff. Yeah. That's interesting. I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
well, if you ever do get a cat, or you could get more of like a hypoallergenic cat. Um, but I don't.
Oh, that's good. Get a hairless cat.
I don't know if hairless, because it is a lot of it has to do with their saliva,
Oh, that's true.
and like their skin. So um, I don't know, but I just know that. Well, Fleur's not even 2 yet, so I'm gonna have Fleur for a very long time, and then Pumpkin, he's 16, but he's in really good health, so hopefully he lives a very long time. So.
Cute. I have two chihuahuas and I have a Maltipoo. They're really cute. We just got our chihuahuas are like one of them's 6, one of them's 5, and then the Maltipoo is 3 years old. Yeah. Yeah, they're really cute. They well, I don't have them up here right now, but yeah, they're like I've I really like I've always had chihuahuas my whole life. We've always had chihuahuas, and then the Maltipoo is like kind of new for me, but I really like them. They're really cute. They have a lot of energy.
Yeah, dogs are so cute. I had a Chihuahua. Well, Henry's a Chihuahua poodle, so he's a Chifu. Um,
Mhm.
but I had a Chihuahua. We found her when I think I was 13 when we found her, and she died. Like my sister and I actually had to put her to sleep. We had to go to the vet and get her put to sleep because she was
Mhm.
she was really sick. But when she died, she was about 17 to 19 years old. So
Wow.
yeah, she was pretty old. But yeah, I love Chihuahuas. I always thought when I grew up, I thought I didn't like Chihuahuas. I thought I wouldn't like them that much, but they are really sweet. Obviously, any dog, if you train them to be nicer, like if you train them to be like bad and bark all the time or bite, they're obviously not going to be good. But I think Chihuahuas are very loyal dogs, and I really like them.
Yeah, me too. They are really loyal. They usually stick around you and like don't go very far, and like I can actually walk them without a leash sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah, they'll just kind of stay near me.
Well, my mom, I don't know if you could hear her in the background, but my mom was actually calling me because I do need to go. But
Oh,
this was really nice talking to you, and mom, I'm coming. I feel like I can't wait to move, because I will be able to have more of my space, right?
yeah.
More of my personal space. So, but yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Well, it was really nice talking to you, and
Yeah.
I hope everybody is having a great night. And subscribe to her channel because she has awesome videos. I have it linked in the bio. So, all right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.